We are watching our country dissolve because we didn't stop it. So again, yeah, Trump is the cancer, but we're the ones that suck down cigarette smoke to give ourselves cancer, right, Rush? We're the ones who did this. We're the ones that allowed some filthy pig man like Limbaugh on the public airwaves. In some cities, he was on 4 or 5 stations at the same time. We allowed that nasty Nazi bastard 30 years of unbridled lies and propaganda and destruction over public, don't laugh, they're supposed to be public, airwaves. And now we hear that cancer is going to eat him alive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, uncontrolled lung cells. But Trump is the personification of all the putrid hate and lies and deception that have been pumped into our ears for 30 plus years, from the political fascists to the religious fascists, without end. You want to have a shocking experience, if you're not already aware of this? On any radio market, any city, just go to your FM dial and then check around until it won't take long until you find a religious broadcaster. Now, by religious, I mean evangelical, sick, nasty, lying Christians. And listen to what they're saying. So the failure of political and social leadership in this country, and the failure of me and you and all of us insofar as allowing this kind of shit to develop in our country. Oh, Mike, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not and never has been absolute. And when I think every day, 24/7, 365, you have this font of putrefaction spewing into the country called Fox, the Fox News channel. Every day, it's like this garbage-filled, feces-loaded font of crap spewing up like Old Faithful all over the country. And we allow it to happen. Oh, Mike, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech that's a bullshit barrier behind which people who would destroy freedom of speech hide. I don't have freedom of speech. I cannot sit here behind this microphone and put together for consumption, public consumption, what I really feel about Trump and what should happen to him. I can't say it, because if I were to do that, it would become readily apparent to me and to anyone who's listening that my freedom of speech stops at the moment I would say what I really feel and would like to see happen to King Rat. So there is no absolute guarantee of freedom of speech. So why do we allow this filth? I mean, if these filthy preachers and these filthy talk show hosts, if they want to do this, okay, just why are they doing it on the public airwaves? That's what they're supposed to be, public. Oh, well. Rant on, Mike. Jeffrey Sachs is a professor and director of the Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University. I'm sure you've heard of Jeffrey Sachs. And he also is writing about the horror that's facing us. And he writes what the United States is really facing in the November election and in Amy Barrett's Supreme Court nomination is whether this country will become a post-truth society. Post-truth. A society run on lies. Trump is a post-truth president, lying relentlessly to evade taxes, coddle polluting industries, protect racist groups from accountability. On the other hand, Amy Barrett showed that she too is a post-truth nominee and therefore a danger to our future. End quote. Jeffrey Sachs, also writing at CNN. And of course, he points out the obvious, that most of Judge Barrett's confirmation hearings were bullshit. That's my word, not his. Window dressing. With an outcome already stated categorically by the Chinese agent that runs the Senate, Mitch the Turtle McConnell. And as McConnell said, the Republican senators will vote probably unanimously to put a right-wing ideologue on the Supreme Court. Of course. It's one of their people. That's what the Republican Party has become. I watch Republicans like what's his name? Morning Joe Scarborough, who is a devoted Republican. And I watch what some of these people have had to struggle with, these Republicans. And most of them have taken the coward's way out by telling us all that they've resigned. Well, I'm no longer a Republican. Oh, yeah? Well, what are you? You're damn sure not a Democrat. You're damn sure not a progressive, Mr. Scarborough, and the rest of you Republicans. Just like the woman who hosts White House on MSNBC from 4 to 6 every day, and I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. She worked in the public relations department for George W. Bush. I watched these Republicans twist themselves into pretzels to try to turn away from the man they helped create into the presidency. They helped place into the presidency with their policies over the past 35 years. And it just turns my stomach. So sure, the confirmation hearings were garbage, were bullshit. As Sachs points out, Barrett tactically avoided showing her real views on just about every subject. Yet she revealed her utter disdain for the truth on one crucial issue that will be central to the future: climate change. And Sachs quotes here, let me share it with you. When the California Democrat, she's still a California Democrat, Senator Kamala Harris, interrogated Barrett on her views on climate change. And Barrett's response was stunning, but to a lot of us, expected. The interchange went this way. Harris, do you accept that COVID-19 is infectious? Barrett, I think yes, I do accept that COVID-19 is infectious. That's something of which I feel like, we could say you take judicial notice of it. It's an obvious fact, yes. Harris, do you accept that smoking causes cancer? Barrett, I'm not sure exactly where you're going with this, but, Harris, it's just a question. The question is what it is. You can answer it as you believe. Barrett, Senator Harris, yes, every package of cigarettes warns that smoking causes cancer. Harris, and do you believe that climate change is happening and is threatening the air we breathe and the water we drink? Barrett, Senator, again, I was wondering where you were going with that. You've asked me a series of questions like that are completely uncontroversial, like whether COVID-19 is infectious, whether smoking causes cancer, and then trying to analogize that to eliciting an opinion on me that is a very contentious matter of opinion from me, that is on a very contentious matter of public debate. And I will not do that. I will not express a view on a matter of public policy, especially one that is politically controversial, because that's inconsistent with the judicial role, as I have explained. Senator Harris, thank you, Judge Barrett. And you've made your point clear that you believe that is a debatable point. Now, that exchange, as Jeffrey Sachs points out, is alarming. Judge Barrett's testimony is that the reality of climate change is, quote, a very contentious matter, end quote. That's what she said. And that is true only in a post-truth nation. In a country where the president actually said of global warming, quote, it'll start getting cooler, just you watch, end quote, King Rat. And in another instance of her testimony, Judge Barrett said, quote, you know, I'm certainly not a scientist. I have read things about climate change. I would not say I have firm views on it, end quote. Now, the reason this is important, because the issue of climate change, and we know this to be true, is eventually going to be an issue on which the Supreme Court is going to have to make very important decisions. Policy decisions, constitutional decisions. The planet is goddamn heating up. We are destroying life on this planet. And yet it's still, according to Judge Barrett, a contentious issue. It's only contentious because the political and religious right have made it so. Is gravity contentious? No. Are the laws of motion contentious? No. Are the laws of thermodynamics contentious? No. Then why are the observable facts and eventually laws of the warming of this planet and the ultimate destruction of life on this planet, why are they contentious? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.